How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Q&A. Today we're joined with Mod Matt K.
All right.
Mod Ghost.
Hello.
Mod Jed.
Hey.
And myself, Mod Archie. In addition, we have Mod Ronan on the side over there collecting questions from the chat. So if you have any questions for the stream, please go ahead and put them in the chat. On a side note, I am feeling a little ill, so apologies for my voice, and hopefully no voice cracks today. All right. First question. Escaper asks, any updates on more exact requirements skill-wise for Monkey Madness 2?
In terms of things we can give away, I can say that you need to, I can say what stats you need to train. I'm not going to give exact numbers though. So I would say there's going to be a high Slayer requirement. It's going to be the highest Slayer requirement we have in game. Same with thieving.
That could be 99 for all you know.
There are also some high quest requirements that you're going to have completed, which will also be the highest stat requirements. Other than that, we're not actually going over the other highest limits. So
We told them about one of the quests they need to do yet.
we haven't.
Do we want to?
Probably Monkey Madness 1.
Yeah, Monkey Madness 1 might, yeah, that might be one they want. There's one in particular which is a nice, easy one to do.
Yeah, there's one that not many people have probably done. Should I give it away?
Yes, yeah, tell them because
Really?
more people
Are
doing
we
that.
spoiling
better.
this? Oh,
I'm
this
quite
is
happy to do
exciting. I
that.
feel like we need a drum roll.
See, my theory being is it's a small quest that not many people have done, but if they know they're going to do it, got to do it, they can get it done before the content comes out and then get straight into the content.
All right, chef's
So
assistant.
that's what I think. Chef's assistant. That's what,
Chefs. So yeah,
Yeah.
Enlightened Journey is the quest that you need to do, which involves hot air balloons.
That's me.
So yeah,
Yep.
It's because it's an enlightened journey, see?
yeah.
If somebody had a sense of humour when they made that, but clearly wasn't me. It would have been a much worse joke. Moving on.
I think you can make worse jokes by the end of the stream. Where is Ash? Ash said...
He's playing Deadman, isn't he?
Is he busy working on Deadman?
Yeah, he's
right
playing
now?
Deadman, yeah. He's competing.
Oh, he's
He's
competing.
in there, yeah.
Even better.
Won't see him again until after the tournament.
Yeah. Any contestants watching this stream just lost all hope in winning.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ash is busy right now. Apologies, guys. Next question then. So Clara asks, can we get any new third age? Specifically asking for a third age scythe.
We are planning on a scroll update, treasure trail update later on this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. So that would be a nice thing to do more third age stuff. I don't think it hurts too much.
Yeah, last
And
time
we
we
did
added
cloak and sword and bits and bobs, didn't we?
Last time we had the bow, the sword, the wand, the cape. I think that was it. Yeah.
Didn't we do a range one?
Said the bow.
Did you? Oh, that's all right. I thought you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do other stuff. Third age, why not? Oh, I seem quite excited about that. But yeah, the last one we did was really popular, wasn't it? The last treasure trail was an absolute nightmare
Yeah.
to do, but it was really popular,
Very
so we
popular.
want to do that again. And obviously get some places into Zaya as well, so people can do the treasure trails over there and whatnot.
There was originally
That'd be quite
discussion of something past an elite, even. So who knows where we could go with it?
Yeah, what would you
Very
call
exciting
it?
Stuff.
What do
There
you
was
call
a
it,
name.
Jed?
There was a name. I'd probably go with like legendary or something. Mod John C. Sneaking in, not late at all.
He said, I just got to nip home. I'll be back before 5.
Traffic lights.
And traffic lights got him.
You didn't even run the reds. Oh my god.
Do we not call it divine, or is that against some sort of law that I'm stepping on then?
Divine.
Divine be okay?
A divine clue scroll. That's pretty
It,
cool.
it
Yeah.
ties into the to Divine Shield, so it'll
It does
probably
remind
be
you
a
of
bit
the shield, of
confusing.
course, yeah.
Okay.
Model 8 as they're calling you now, John.
Oh, fair enough.
Can't argue with that.
I'm not the giant, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think they just picked something like you're gonna be mod checkers.
Mod checkered shirt. You see,
Yeah.
this is the worst thing. Okay, I came in. I was watching this last week's stream today, and I was like, "Oh God, I'm wearing exactly the same clothes. They have been washed since." So I had to take my jumper off. So I didn't look
You're not
like I
supposed to
was.
tell them that you did this though.
So we chuckle. Anyway, what would you call it? Historic. Somebody says in the chat. Heroic. Sorry.
Heroic.
Heroic,
I like that.
yeah.
Heroic's much nicer
Yeah.
than
Much better than divine.
Divine,
Who
yeah.
suggested that? God.
Yeah.
Boys ready?
go for
Yeah.
it.
Go for it, yeah.
Backwards, definitely backwards.
Actually, don't. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
that.
100%.
Don't do it.
They haven't got a clue right now.
Yeah, no,
Could be anything. It's a hat. It's okay, guys.
Which side you going? This one?
Okay.
Sorry for being late.
Heroic clue scrolls. Yeah, I like that. Talk about clue scrolls.
Settled.
Clue scroll update.
Yes,
Heroic
I've got
clue
another one.
scrolls.
So heroic.
Further than elite. We're going heroic.
Me and Kieran have actually been concepting something similar for soon TM, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, we want a new higher tier with new types of clue scroll, and he's been working on something else.
Legendary clue scroll.
That might have
So
been
good
what we
work.
called them, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not legendary.
But I want to do another expansion similar to the one in 2014.
Yeah.
Loads of new clues, new rewards. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's very popular. We'll do that again.
They're calling you mod cap. That's like sort of mod trousers, mod t-shirt,
Mod ears.
mod
nose.
yeah.
Again, guys, Mod Ronin is taking questions from the chat, so if you have any, go ahead and drop them in there. Try to fit them in between the spam. That'd
Not
be
30
nice.
years old, but dressing like 14.
I'm 24!
Which insult was worse?
Matt's just roasting John in between questions.
That was the players today, weren't me?
You said it. Okay, let's go to the next question then. So Awesome asks, can we get a message in the chat box when we've unlocked a new music track?
I suppose we probably can.
Potentially. That should be doable. Depends how the music unlocks are being tracked, if they're separate
Yeah.
or not. We might have to rework the entire system, in which case that's unlikely to happen because it's a lot of work for not very much benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
We're down Ash today, aren't we? I'm going to have to answer those long-winded questions.
We've got Jed, he's a developer as well.
I've not looked at the music yet.
Yeah, haven't you? Oh, well, that's fair enough.
Jed loves
But yeah, I mean, it all boils down to there are not a huge amount of people that listen to music. In fact, what we should probably do first is get the data guys to have a look at how many people play with the music on, so we can see how many people benefit from it. It'll be interesting to share that, actually.
Yeah.
Somebody has brought a pad with them. That's Kieran when you need him.
He's a
Told you
phone.
to bring
I
a
left my phone.
notepad, Jed. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have a look at that because I'll be quite interested to see how many people play with the music on.
Yeah, I think it's more so as well people just going for that cape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big deal with the
You
music.
already know if you've unlocked it.
Yeah, that's why they all wanted the black and white graceful set today, so it matched the music.
Fair enough.
All right. Spine asks, possible to make those unobtainable flat packs in the Grand Exchange available, like the study room lecterns?
Yes, there's for those that don't know, there's a number of flat pack objects that they exist as objects in the game, but you can't actually create them because they were created when construction was being developed as a skill way back in 2005, 6.
Something like that,
Yeah. The flat packs that exist were scrapped, but the objects were never deleted, so they made it into the live game. I'm not sure which objects they are off the top of my head. I think there's some for the large orrery, like the planets that spin around in the study. We could make them flat packable, but there's no real benefit to it. So I'm not sure what's involved with it either.
Right. That sounds like an answer to me. Let's go to the next question then. You know what? Actually, real quick. So we'll spamming about Dead Man. I was really surprised there wasn't a single Dead Man related question asked on the thread, or even really tweeted at me. Even though it's such a hot topic, obviously, today. In case you guys are unaware, I believe it's in today's news post. We removed access from 25 people from the Dead Man tournament today for account sharing. So that happened.
I mean, account sharing, to put it in perspective, these people had their accounts logged on 24/7 and were sharing their account amongst 4 or 5 people, logging in from all over the world, which, although, if you do it in the normal game, we're not overly concerned about it. If you're doing it in a competition where you're trying to win $10,000, a bit of common sense says don't do that. So rip rot, basically.
There you go.
Just repeating what the chat said.
Just repeating the chat.
Yeah.
You can get away with it then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's such a tragedy.
It is I'm quite upset about that.
In addition, might as well plug it now. Again, by the end of the stream, Ronan's looking for some emotes to throw in there. There you go. We are subtitles beside him. That's wonderful. The tournament is happening this weekend, this Saturday actually, the 26th of March, beginning 6 p.m. GMT. We're going to be streaming that from I-57. Insomnia is a great venue. We're going to have some guest hosts there to help commentate, being Bodie and Ian. You guys already know that. Very exciting stuff. We have 10 grand to throw at the winner.
We're talking about the other guest.
I haven't.
Do you want to tell them about the other guest?
Sure.
Go on.
Yeah. All right. Syndicate's going to be there. So that's really exciting. We're going to have
You
him.
didn't sell that.
Oh,
Syndicate is going to be there.
my God.
Syndicate is
I'm sick.
Is he shoutcasting for us?
I think he's joining
I think
us
he's just doing the
pre-chat.
intro
Yeah.
and then maybe the outro as well. But he's an avid fan of Old School. He loves it. He's also a good friend of Bodie's. So we do appreciate his presence. We all
See,
love his
you did
stuff.
say it clearly because they're all reacting quite nicely to that now.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool to see that he actually took interest in that. He does like old school. We appreciate that. It's awesome. But yeah, throwing 10 grand at the winner, and then restarting the season. It's gonna resume or restart actually almost immediately after. So really exciting stuff.
We have it. It's been quite a great, big organised thing to make this work, because when the tournament stops, we then have to reuse all the worlds and all the game saves and clear them all and start them all off again to make the Dead Man seasonal start working. So we've got a team of people waiting here in the office until 8 o'clock on. Hopefully by 8 o'clock it's done.
Yeah.
By 8 o'clock to get the new servers up and running. So effectively, when the tournament finishes at 7:30, they've got half hour to do all this stuff to get it working for 8. And they're going to be up against it. But if any of them are watching, thank you for coming in and helping out.
Yeah, should give them a shout out. Did he give me up on Easter Saturday? We've got Mod Ash is going to be here.
Yeah.
Mod Philip of the engine team, and I don't know who we've got from where.
We've got Ben Alban is
He's at the
doing it
event
as
with
well.
us.
Yeah, he's coming with us. We've got some of
Big
the
help.
guys from office support there as well who are coming to make sure it works. We've got we've got Ronan, we've got Kieran are all going to be down at the event making sure that happens. So lots and lots of people are all being involved to get this stuff working.
It's going to be a really, really, really exciting stream.
Yeah.
There are, I commented on a Reddit thread yesterday saying that there are a couple of questions that we unfortunately cannot answer due to the fact that they are surprise element. That's just part of the secret. They're a secret to everybody, not just you. That means everybody's going in completely blind for some things, some mechanics. That'll be a real treat to see. It's going to be really fun stuff to watch. So, yeah, that's all I can say.
Who do we want to win? When will we also have favourite?
I think it's safe. I think it's safe to say that most of us are rooting for Rice.
Yeah, we'd all have
Oh.
Ice Poseidon to win.
Well, I'm going to back a friend if he's even still in it. I've not seen his latest.
He's in it. I can't.
I like his videos.
I
They
can't.
amuse me. Can we get an arm thing emote? You've got one. It's the hypermobile emote.
No, the answer is what arm thing? That's the answer.
Oh, the
Ruined.
ice thing.
Every week it's better. Every week.
Absolutely,
All
yeah.
right.
We do like.
We do love ISIS streams.
The one of the worst things about ICE is he normally streams when we're all in bed, waiting to come into work the next day, so we never get to see him. But he's been streaming earlier. It's been really quite entertaining to watch him again, which is quite cool. But we've got so many cool streamers. It's great.
You're literally a sitting meme right now. Yeah. All right.
I haven't got his hair though. He always reminds me, of somebody called Perry Farrell, who is a singer in a band called Jane's Addiction. He always reminds me of him. I don't know why.
Oh, I know them. Yeah. Okay.
It's
I'd be interested to see.
cool,
Yeah.
It's
And
an
the
old,
chat said
it's
I
an
was
old
old.
person thing, isn't it?
They're not old. They released an album not long ago. I think they're still going. Yeah.
Just as
Yeah,
recently.
they're touring this year. They're going to somewhere in London, in Old Kent, in London.
Oh.
So I'm trying to get tickets for that because that'd be quite cool. 'cause I've always
Listen,
wanted to
dude.
see them. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I'm just reading the chat.
Anyway,
As you're saying.
yeah. So hopefully get to see them. Anyway, that's by the by. Carry on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was all right. Let's get to the questions then, sure. So he actually had a follow-up question to that, a couple of them. He said, can you repull the ornament kit for Mod Alfred's ACB design, the orbital crossbow? It failed by 1% in October 2014, a good while back. Of course, they saw that again in Alfred's leaving video. Really nicely designed little piece of work there. Shame it didn't pass.
Yeah, we want to do a repoll poll, don't we?
Yeah, we
near
do.
miss poll at some
Definitely
point
do.
soon. So
I've
that'd
been
be
talking
good.
about it for a while. I think it's coming up.
Yeah, there's two things I want to do. First thing I want to do, which I want to prioritise over near miss poll, is doing another player priority poll. Find out what they want. So hopefully we'll get some surveys out in the next week or so. Ronan doesn't know this yet. Ronan's going to be doing some surveys next week to get them out to you to find out what you want in a priority poll, so we can actually sort of start structuring that poll and get that pushed out properly. So I want to get that because the data's good to look at. That's right. So yeah, and then we can start planning the next 6 months of what we want to do, which would be good.
All right.
And then we can do a near miss poll after that, I think. Sounds good.
Next question then. Can we get an
Yeah,
archive?
sailing.
Yeah, I've seen it popping
Yeah.
up. I'm trying not to get excited.
What?
It will just end in disappointment.
Sailing. Oh,
Yes.
sure. past updates on the Old School website like RS3 website has.
What
So
are
it
they?
only shows an archive of past updates for Old School. So it
Oh,
only
past
shows our
news
past
items,
like,
yeah.
like
Yeah,
week and a
we
bit.
have for some time been after a archive for news posts. They are on the website. There's just no easy way to find them. But it's a case of it's almost like saying it's an engine job, although it's not. It's a web job, and web have been full of to doing things for other things at the moment. So one day, but it probably won't be any time soon, and it's not really going to be that much of a priority. It will be nice, but that's about it, I think, for it. Really.
Okay. Chief Iron asks, can we see a buff to Water Fiend's drop table, increasing and noting amount of water orbs and snake grass? Quite a few requests, actually, for Water Fiends there.
Yeah, well, I guess without Crimson Charms being a thing in our game, they don't have much purpose.
Yeah.
And they are a Slayer task. I can look at that.
Cool.
Certainly. I'll just write it on my invisible typewriter.
I remember it. Let's talk to a couple from the chat here. So when is the construction update coming?
Soon, TM. Again, it's one of those that because it's so sectioned off, doesn't rely on any other content, and doesn't affect all that many players. I mean, I know it's a popular idea, but the amount of players that will be able to touch a level 85 construction room on the day it goes out is so low, it just won't ever become that high a priority. So we've got to wait until we've got a nice gap in our schedule. I imagine construction updates will slot on the priority poll, and we can see if that has changed. But yeah, soon, TM.
Okay.
Do you think the update would lose its impact if we started just cutting it into smaller jobs and then updating it over a long period of time?
Not necessarily. It would depend how we sliced it up.
Okay.
We could slice up, and this is a very procedure-driven thing, but we could slice it up and then only release it when it's all done.
Okay, yeah.
So we still get the impact of the update, although the content will be ready to, months earlier in bits and bobs until it's finished, then put it out that way.
Certainly.
So there's multiple ways of things doing it.
So if we made a stream for a construction update and then contributed to it when we have time, like as and when, do you reckon we could do it then?
It's probably a good idea. The only downside to that is that we're polling it like 3 or 4 months before it's going to get
Mind
released.
you,
Oh,
if
yeah.
we get this intern we were talking about earlier this week, that might be an ideal thing for them to get involved in. They get all
Graphics,
the
yeah,
artists, our
sorry, yeah.
graphics side stuff done.
We need a dev.
Yeah.
Which would
And
be quite
I
good.
can't give you a dev until midsummer.
Yeah. So
The graphics for it, I'd have to say, would only take a few days.
Mm.
So that's not the big part. It's more just the construction, like code, I guess.
yeah.
We want to, or Ash wants to create a new menu for rearranging your house and just moving rooms around before we start doing super corner rooms. It would only take me a few days, but we want to get that done first. But yeah, if you don't mind it being a long time after it's been polled that it gets released, we can certainly do that.
Okay. Question coming in from the chat here. Does Mod Jed have the defense level for that granite helm he's wearing? I didn't ask it. That's Ronan. That's all Ronan.
You didn't ask it.
No.
What
Yes, I
you?
do.
Just relaying info here. I'm just in the middle, man. You do.
Yeah,
So you play Old School, don't you?
I do.
Is that granite,
What-
granite
But
plate
what
body
is your
too?
defence level on your account?
You're
Oh,
pure.
which account? That's,
One of them. You bet the highest one.
highest one, 45.
45 defence.
Yeah.
It's another Alfie.
It's respectable though. It's not like
Yeah.
46.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah,
I can
I hope
actually
it's
real
get
tier.
Taco Bell.
I hope. All right. Moving on.
I like
Real
Taco
questions.
Bell, it's so nice.
Rista asks, can our KDR carry through each season of Deadman mode? That'd be really cool. Sounds extremely impossible.
It does sound it, because the way it works is you're reusing the same game save, which means we have to wipe that between each season. And I would imagine that if we, and this is not anybody from the engine team talking, if we have to save at least one part of information, we'll have to create a second game save for every account, and that's what we're trying to avoid with the seasons.
Right.
And then a third one for the next season, fourth one for the next season, fifth game save, just to save that information.
There is no nice way to do it, but yeah, something like that
Yeah.
would be the only way.
So yeah, no.
No, but cool idea.
Yeah, it is a good
You
idea.
get something. All right. Sunstrike asks, can you remove the super long delay when using Bones to Peaches? It's unnecessary and sometimes deadly.
yeah, I think that's something we talked about before, is there was no real consistency between delays and them spells. And so if we were going to make it consistent, we could just get rid of that delay, or at least shorten it a bit.
Okay. Be nice. Going back to the chat here, what happened to the Slayer Helm recolors mentioned in a past Q&A?
They're currently sitting in a Jira job in our suggestions list.
Are we going ahead with that?
Which one? Is this the boss?
Yeah,
head
the
one.
boss head, so KBD, Caliphate Queen,
Yeah,
using
it's-
those heads in your Slayer Hum to recolor them.
Still a suggestion that we just haven't got around to polling and creating.
It's not one that I particularly favour, to be honest, because it
Um,
opens a floodgate for recolouring tons of other items.
Yeah, and especially with Slayer Helm, it's already got so many things attached to it already. I'm not a fan of it from just a game mechanic perspective, but I can really appreciate why a lot of you guys want it. So when we get around to it, we might be able to find a nicer way to consolidate all of the potential future ones that you might want to come with it, offer something nicer at the same time.
Yeah.
Get around it that way.
All right.
We should do that with Maxcapes.
Chat's saying no more recolouring there. One person in the chat, but still.
Yeah,
The check's in the post, mate, thanks. Been waiting there all week.
that's right. I'm waiting for my check in the post from Coke.
Diet Coke.
Oh, it's just so nice.
All right, next question then. Let's see here. Slaymasters asks, can we see a repoll of the additional question on Zenite jewelry that did not pass? That Zenite jewelry will be charged with Dragonstones instead of Onyx.
I don't think that's why it didn't pass. The majority of the feedback I saw was that they just didn't like the idea of the passive ability, and it was just too strong and not very old school, which is fair enough. That's why we broke up the question, to give it a chance to fail.
Yeah.
Straw poll might be nice, Ronan. See if we can see if it can get any better. With
I did say at the
Dragonstone.
beginning, please don't ask me for straw polls because I have to collect loads of questions.
Oh, my bad.
So we were asking for loads
Come on,
from now
have
on.
faith, Ronan Strawpoll. You should be able to remember. Come on.
Zenite passive ability, but being charged with Dragonstones rather than Onyx.
Just say. Should we repoll?
Yeah.
Should we repoll Zenite with Dragonstones as opposed to Onyx?
The passive ability.
And give that a yes or no, because that makes no sense.
We're calling you mod lazy now, Ronan.
All right. Next question while we wait for that, then. S. Dave says, can you add the ow from Pyramid Plunder to chat filter, please? See that? See the enthusiasm
I did. I was very
in that
impressed with
question?
that. So it's like acting and everything.
It's not as straightforward as it sounds. I'll look into that, see how we can change it, because it's actually public chat that's generated for you.
It's actually getting the player to speak rather than sending a message to a chat
Really?
box.
Okay. Yeah, so stop being hurt, guys.
A way around it is just to turn your public chat off, I believe. Just means you don't see anyone else talking, but it's only an
Don't need
MMO.
to see
Why would you
people
want to talk to
talking,
people?
right,
It's
yeah.
I think I found the
social
most
interaction.
annoying version of that is in Dave's basement where you're using Hellcats
Yeah.
or whatever to get rats. There was like 5 people down there doing it and the chat was just completely spammed.
That's why I turn public. I used to play public off all the time. I was really antisocial when I played Old School.
We've got the results back from that straw poll. Should we repoll Zenite with Dragonstones instead of Onyx? Excuse me. Yes, at 56%.
That's kind of
Yeah.
case in point.
About what you
Yeah.
predicted. Next question then.
Actually, before we move on, I do have some ideas to get rid of some Dragonstones, by the way. Just watch this
Ooh,
space. I
that's
think I've
exciting.
been saying that for about 6 months,
Yeah.
but something will come.
Let's actually grab another one from the chat. Why not? How many seasonal worlds will there be?
6, I think. What did we end up with? It was 6, wasn't
I
it?
think it was 6, yeah.
Yeah, because we did 2 first time around and they filled up in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to be in that stage again on a Saturday night. So we've gone 6, which is what we had the most we had before. So
Mind you, they're so much more fun when they're full.
yes, hopefully they'll fill up in 30 seconds as well, because that's
Yeah.
a nice problem to have.
What if
Well,
all
I mean-
6 fill up in 30 seconds?
If
Yeah, you also?
You're all 60 fill up in 30
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
if you do want to keep up as much as possible, you're gonna want to be one of the earlier players to play, right? So again, guys, those seasonal servers will be resetting, give or take around 8 p.m. GMT on Saturday. Keep an eye out for that. Just watch the stream, really.
Yeah, the World 357, which is currently the tournament world, that will be turning into a seasonal Deadman world. It won't be reverting to a normal Deadman world. So that
Right.
becomes seasonal.
I'll organise some world broadcasts as and when they go live as well. So if you're not watching the stream, but you are logged in, you'll see.
Okay. Next
I
question.
think
then.
what players will see on Saturday night will be a 30-minute countdown timer on the worlds that are coming offline at about 7 o'clock, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then those 5 worlds will drop out and they'll come back at 8 o'clock with the stuff on it. So
I do appreciate the longer countdown timers. If you're in the middle of something like bossing or something, you've got as much time as you need there. Next question then. Lore Master asks, what if crocodiles rarely dropped? Well, I guess it's a suggestion, not really a crocodile or not a crocodile question. What if crocodiles rarely dropped a crocodile egg while on a Slayer task? You could then raise that egg into a baby crocodile. It wouldn't be a pet, it would be a weapon. You could feed it salamanders along with their respective tar to charge it. This would serve as a salamander tar sink. Then after X amount of attacks, it'd be hungry and you have to feed it. It'd be rare and untradeable. As an upgrade to salamanders allowing you to attack from a distance, I would name my croc Ronin. Right.
That was a very long-winded way to make that joke.
It was a very long troll, but I think
very much
it
appreciate
had a
it.
lot of upvotes. A lot of people were actually really behind this idea.
I think they're behind calling it Ronin. That's what they're really
Yeah.
behind.
Right. Okay. Originally, I thought like, is this thing gonna follow you around? Do you have a crocodile as a pet, like following you around? But I'm thinking he's thinking, hold it. You were holding a crocodile in your arms, right? And then like attacking people as it breathes fire. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Crocodiles don't breathe fire.
You put tar in its mouth, and sure.
That's cruel, man.
I can't use
Hey, lizards don't breathe fire.
Yeah, we might have an issue with RSPCA type organisations if we made you able to make
Yeah.
crocodiles breathe
Yeah,
fire.
that's fine because killing cows is completely acceptable to the RSPCA.
You feed a salamander too.
Leaving their meat and bones on the floor.
Yeah. All right.
I think, all jokes aside, my issue with that is it suddenly becomes having a good weapon's a luck thing rather than anything else. You know, it's not necessarily going to be combat related either. So it's getting a different thing which you
Excuse me.
can't.
Yeah.
It's sort of adding something into combat which isn't already there.
I'm happy to see an upgrade to salamanders.
Watch out.
I just
for
don't know
something
if this is
soon,
maybe to.
I don't like the rare and
Right
tradable
idea.
side of it.
Yeah.
I think it should be tradable if it's going to be a weapon.
All right. Next question then.
I do
Level
understand.
asks, can you buff player-made ales? Make them all act the way Chef Delights do, rather than just a 1 or 2 mature brews.
I really like that idea.
Yeah.
I guess what he means by that, right, is it scales with your level. I hope that's what he means. I think that's what.
Let's say that.
Yeah, and so that way at least it would make that part of the skill more useful. At the moment, most people just get stews to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want analytics to tell me how many people in the game have ever interacted with brewing, apart
Not
from
me.
that diary task.
Yeah, that may not be an awful lot.
I reckon
This would help
that's
that.
going to be less than 100 people. There was a recent complete rework to the brewing system on RS3. It was devved by Maz like a year and a half ago, and it took a year and a half for someone to actually get around to testing it because it was just sort of sat in their whip pool. And it went live with a load of bugs apparently, and no one noticed because no one touches it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's grab another one from the chat here. When can we expect a dev blog for the clan system update? There's one from us.
Maz has been gathering that info. I'm not entirely sure where she's got with it, but I know she's been having a lot of discussions with a lot of players on the forums. Soon. TM.
Yeah, I was saying it might be first half this year. You might hear more about it. So it is a significant engine job, and you know the issues we have with engine time. We've got to get raids out the door first before we really start worrying
Yeah.
about clans.
We can open discussions, and then there's going to be a huge ongoing process, I think, with getting the right system before we even start looking at implementing it, because there's so many of you in so many clans that you're going to want so many different things from the clan system that trying to get one system that ticks all of your boxes is going to be near impossible.
Yeah, the biggest issue I think is getting the names to the right place, because we're going to have to separate from the RuneScape system that already
Yeah.
exists. So you can have an old school clan and an RS3 clan, and have the right names in the right places. So that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot of investigation involved with
Yeah.
this, so yeah. I think summer at the earliest.
Worth noting, in about a minute's time, so maybe we'll sneak out one last question. We're going to throw Mod Ghost over on a PC, and he's going to be showing you guys a
Video of the results.
He's going to show you a sneak peek of a new monster in Monkey Madness 2. Very exciting stuff. I would say you don't want to miss it, but you're probably not going to go anywhere in a minute. So let's do one question real quick. Grimy Relative says, will the quest points awarded for Monkey Madness 2 grant longer time to collect tiers in the minigame Tears of Guthix?
Yeah, that's an automatic thing. That wasn't going to change.
Okay.
Didn't know
Easy
that.
question.
That.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
Do you want to head over then?
Yes, I
Should we
will.
throw you?
You can throw me if you want to hurt your back.
All right. We've got a really cool intro that Mod Ghost worked really hard on for this. So play that.
Stop telling them that I had anything to do with that. Right. This is a concept that Alfred designed. You probably saw it at RuneFest if you watched that footage. If not, you can go to YouTube and rewatch the RuneFest presentation. But it's for an NPC which is going to feature in Monkey Madness 2, and it is called a demonic gorilla. Now, what I'm going to show you is Mod Alfred's model, which he made. So this is that realised in 3D in Old School Runescape. Currently at the moment, it's playing its idle animation. I'm just going to run off just a number of the animations, the basic ones, just to show you roughly how it's going to move about in game. So this is its idle animation, as I said. This is when it's just standing still. We have a walk animation. Now if I press W on my keyboard, it will start walking. And if I press W again, it will start running. If I press W again, it will go stationary. So I'll just rotate round a bit so you can see the model from all aspects. There we go. This is a bit of fun. I knew everyone would like that. I think I could just zoom in to give you a better look if you wanted. No, let's keep it clean. So I'll close that animation, and we've got a smash chest animation. Let's see what this one does. Okay, and we have see, some of these are actual attacks, so I don't want to give things up that are going to be used in game. This is his defend animation, and I think we'll finish on the jump animation as well. There we go, he's jumping up in the air, and presumably he lands down if this animation is anything to go by. Oh, he kind of flies there as well, that's cool. There we go. Cool, and that is everything. This, if you're wondering, is the model in its default, oh excuse me, I just swallowed my tongue almost, in this default form. So that will be the model just there, without any animations applied to it. I'm now going to head back over to the couch. I hope you enjoyed that demonstration.
Very exciting stuff. That gorilla does in fact squat.
It does squat.
Yeah.
It's funny, Jed's developing that project, and I'm the project manager on it, and we were not aware of some of those animations existed.
Yeah.
I like
News to
the
us.
jumping up one.
We'll make use of those.
Yeah.
I think you can tell by its glutes that he squats. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next question then. Wizard says, there are fruit stalls in Zaya. What if you added guards next to them and made them thievable to make a sweet way to get watermelons, strawberries, and papayas for farming?
I think there should be more thievable stuff there, and that might sort of more sort of stuff going on there makes it work. You know, sort of. I'll try and rephrase that. More activity there for normal things is good. I don't know whether giving papayas away as a thieving thing is a good idea or not. I
In
think
limited
a better
quantity,
idea.
yeah. So there's not many in the game, and they're used a lot for paying farmers to look after your palm trees, which is the only real way to farm properly. I like that idea. Needs
do like
properly
the idea.
balancing.
Yeah.
There's certainly value in it.
So yeah, fruit stall, low chance of papayas, high chance of, well, I don't know, strawberries. That's something people want, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do strawberries for agility.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a strong link there between strawberries and agility.
I'll tell you how, right, okay. You can have a
Right.
basket of strawberries and they heal a small amount of health. So when you're injured doing an agility course, you lose a percentage of your health. So you keep your health naturally low, and then you just boost it a little bit. So your health always stays low, but you keep yourself alive, and you can have more strawberries in your thing to do agility.
I've learned something.
Yeah.
Wow, okay,
I
thank you.
swear Ash debunked that by saying something, which I don't remember. So,
That doesn't apply
Never
to
mind.
agility damage. Some obstacles give direct damage regardless of your hit points level, and for others it's that. But that's a good new tip.
I used to use it on Burthorpe. Is it Burthorpe? Brimhaven.
Brimhaven.
Brimhaven,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brimhaven place.
The
I quite
OG
enjoyed it.
agility training place.
Yeah, no, I must admit that we could do so much more with that agility place.
Can make
So
it
so
great
much fun.
again.
Can make it great again. Yeah. Ideas on a postcard. Send it to Mod Jed. Care of Jagex.
They already have some pretty good ideas in terms of rewards from there that we can give them. So
Is it just rewards? I think we do some better than rewards. Maybe new things, a new area with new obstacles to get around.
New colour scheme for graceful that matches the agility game.
That's exactly what
the one I already made. There is one out there somewhere.
Quite a few people asking if we can turn ourselves up. So yes, I can.
I can.
Good. We had this discussion right before the stream.
We did, yeah.
Indeed.
All right, next question then. Chief Iron asks, can Zahir the herbalist clean noted herbs?
Well, no, that's... you could have gone in game to see that. Don't point asking us. We checked on the wiki.
Forget it. I guess the issue is huge amounts of XP, unless they don't want XP from it and just pay to clear them.
Yeah, you don't get XP from it.
They didn't think you did, yeah.
It was implemented as a way for you to clean your identified herbs if you don't have the herb law level. I would like to run past analytics to see how many people actually use that feature, because you can trade grimy herbs on the GE. So if there's actually much value in us putting the dev time into that, because it's not a small one.
Maybe Iron Man? Sorry, maybe Iron Man?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not an Iron Man.
Just making sure. Are you? Oh,
I'm
that's
not.
good.
No.
All right, maximum memeage.
Yeah.
Pineapple says, can players be given the ability to use fire making to burn down their crops for fire making and farming experience? By burning down your crops, you'll return the nutrients back to the soil, so you can get a 2.5% increase to your next farming yield and a 5% reduction of your plant being diseased.
There needs to be a chance of accidentally burning every crop down and losing everything in that area,
Yeah.
because burning crops has been outlawed in this country and has been for 35 years. But I remember when I was very young, you'd be able to drive down the road and you'd see fields aflame, and it was quite wonderful to see. Anyway, that's a story.
It's a really cool idea.
But I like the idea. There has to be a risk behind it as well, so it's not a case of you set fire to it and then there's something else there, but you've got to have the risk that goes with it.
Could that risk be offset depending on your fire making level?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Makes sense.
Yeah. Cool.
But it gives a use to fire making, doesn't it? Which is almost like the holy grail of RuneScape,
Yeah,
isn't
absolutely.
it?
The thing is, we keep saying we need to add uses to fire making, but we have actually added a few uses to fire making over the last year and have a load more coming as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Do you guys not like this idea then? I thought it was
like
a kind
that
of cool
idea.
idea.
Yeah,
I think it's really
good. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to develop that.
Yeah, perhaps using your expertise for balancing. I don't know if giving a 2.5% chance increase for the next farming yield is good or bad. Doesn't sound like it does very much, to be honest. More or less, we're just going to get a really cool animation of burning down crops, right? Especially a big tree.
You're going to get a crop which is replaced by a generic fire without the logs.
A generic fire, you can do better than that.
No, there's no point, because it just keeps it consistent with the rest of the game, doesn't it? I think because it's fire making, you just need the actual fire that's used for fire making with whatever's burning. So we could probably have the crops that are just black and with a fire just put over the top of it, and that's fine.
It would have to be a single flame on each tile as well, because that's how locks are managed
Right.
for farming patches.
It kind of works with the fire making asset. It is just a single tile model, and you just have that sort of
Yeah, it would have
heated
to
around
be,
the
you couldn't
place.
have just a giant fire without a concealer. Couldn't
Could
really
you
work the farming
have
structure.
them appear at different times, so almost like the fire spreads across
that'd
the thing? That would be quite
yeah,
cool.
we could do that.
So lots of different, then it'll come back as
Yeah, content side.
It's
Like
not, I don't think someone's saying it's lazy. I don't think it's lazy. It's just being consistent, which is what a lot of people have communicated with me about. They just want consistency throughout the graphics. So
Absolutely, yeah.
I do my best to do that for you.
We're just trying to read through this spam. People saying, have Mod John C give us update on skilling pets he was talking about.
Yeah, Ronan's just wrote that one down. There is no update. I still want to do another batch. It'll be told as and when we have time. At the moment, we have one artist who is fully booked for like the next 3 months, and new pets mean new graphics.
Indeed.
So summer. We are hiring for new artists, and I think that's going fairly well.
Yeah, we've got a couple of people coming
Yeah.
in now to do some trials. They're both from the Old School community, which is great. We've had about 30 people apply. We've got a proportion from the Old School community, which is lovely. Yeah, all good.
It's good to see so much talent applying for it as well, isn't it? 'Cause there has
Yeah,
been
some
a lot of
very,
talent.
very talented artists. What they want to do, making stuff for our game, I don't know, but
Yeah,
there we are. Yeah, no, it's quite fantastic. So, talking to a couple, should be nice to meet them.
Right. Lugar says, when will we see the flax to bowstring spell?
I saw that on your document of questions earlier. It made me chuckle. I like it though, because it is a very sort of RuneScape thing to have. So it makes no sense whatsoever. Just stick up Lunar spellbook.
Yeah, I don't. Do we have any spells at all that are somewhat similar?
Tan leather, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah, yeah.
recharge Dragonstone Jewelry to a degree.
It kind of
Baked
fits in there
pie.
then, sure.
Yeah, no,
Why
I
not?
think it's a very RuneScapey kind of concept, and I'm sure we can find some space for it.
Where would you want to put that? I wouldn't put it on Necromancy, would you?
Luna, I'd say.
Okay.
Luna, but without messing up where Vengeance is.
Right. That's fine. Just don't give it 94 plus.
When you'd have to give it the highest.
Oh yeah, you're right. It'd have to be. Oh my god.
Not
that's-
necessarily.
that's
We
a
put
big-
Geomancy at the bottom of,
Yeah.
of the thingy. It's out of order. It kills me every time I see it. My
Yeah, that
OCD
is a
just
tough
does
one,
not
though.
agree with that at all. But,
Just make it 99 mage.
yeah, I'm sure everyone with 99 magic is aching to spin flax into a bowstring.
Okay. Next question. To Chrissy says, can the toxic gas in the Dead Man tournament also kill off any NPCs?
No.
Somebody commented, and in case you guys didn't know, we just put up a video on the Old School YouTube channel with a Dead Man mode community highlights montage, some of our favorite moments from Dead Man mode. It ended with a preview of what the fog is going to look like. If you missed that video, go ahead and watch that. But yeah, that's what the fog's going to look like. Somebody pointed out there are NPCs walking around harmless, like in the fog. Why aren't they getting killed by the fog? Ruins it, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I think
Kill all the NPCs. We have to.
I think that makes sense to kill NPCs. It won't happen for this week. Maybe next tournament.
Can we actually do that? Can we remove all the NPCs in the whole world? Bankers and all, they're all
I can
gone.
imagine they would just respawn.
That's a very expensive server-side command to be
Okay.
running across the world.
So I only got to do it once or twice. The second
Link, please. We'll try to get you guys a link to that video. By which I mean Mod Running will try. Next question then. Stephen Snelms asks, Snelms are underappreciated. We need more Snelms.
We don't.
No, we don't.
Moving on.
Next question. Tashi asks, about the skilling pets, we just gave that answer, sorry. Gian says, will Mod Ghost ever do some more Let's Design Zaya live streams? He actually just said Let's Design live streams in general. I really enjoyed them and would love to see more.
Who said that?
Gian Luigi. I knew you'd think that I faked this question. I didn't
Yeah,
fake
that's cool.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd love to do some more. We've got some more planned as soon as Zaya gets underway. At the moment, I'm doing Monkey Madness 2, so I couldn't really show too much of that because it'd ruin the quest. Otherwise, I would.
Well, we'll be kicking off. Well, you'll be
Raids?
starting on your side of Zaya development.
Yeah, near the end of April.
So
Yeah.
in a month's time.
Yeah,
Raids
it's
would be
cool.
really exciting. Let's design raids.
I can't wait because it's mainly just going to be
Yeah.
me sat there
But-
doing bosses.
There will again be some aspects that we won't be able to show of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Cool.
Special attacks, for example, or something we probably wouldn't be able to show.
Yeah, I wouldn't show animations or anything. It'd just be NPCs being created.
I think that's cool.
Jumping back into the chat for a question here. Let's see. What will the experience rate be on seasonal Deadman? 10 times like the tournament or 5 times like normal?
5 times.
It'll be 5
So
times.
exactly the same as the existing Dead Man stuff, just finishes off 3 months. I think the whole idea, what we want to do sort of long term with it is we want to see, we know how Dead Man performed on a normal server. Next step is to find out how Dead Man performs on a seasonal server, and then we can start looking at making changes to Dead Man after that and see if we can get to a stage where Dead Man is exactly what we want it to be. But we need to sort of do the right process, because if we make so many changes and it is really popular, we don't know why it's really popular, so one change at a time, and we'll improve it over time.
Yeah. The reason why we took the step to go to 10 times is because it's such a short duration. We wanted to make sure some people were able to access, if they were skilled enough, some of the end game content. Of course, nobody's going to have an LE or anything, but you know, if we had it as only 5
I don't
times.
have a DFS now either.
Apparently not anymore now. Yeah. But realistically, yeah, unless people were playing for 24 hours a day for several days on end, which they were, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So I like the 10 times. It's kind of cool chopping a log and then like there's
Luke's
4
has
levels.
2 apparently.
Luke's has 2
Ladies.
2 LEs.
Yeah, but he's allowed, so that's
All right.
fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Moving on. Brandon says, can you give us the ability to view our recent Clue Scroll awards?
no.
That'd be
and
such a cool feature.
It would be super cool, but that's just a lot of memory storage that
Right.
would expand the save game profile.
Basically, just take screenshots.
Yeah, and it would be
Solution.
nice to have something which allows you to see everything that you've done. But if we're going to do it, we need to look at how to do it properly, which I would expect will be we'll have to spin up another server to hold it off the game profile.
There is one thing you could do is just store all the ones you do get in your POH as you get them. Because the costume room holds all of the exclusive rewards, I think.
Yeah.
That's one sort of mid-term solution to tracking the rewards you've got.
Okay. Moving on, a couple of Castle Wars questions here. Twiddle says, can Castle Wars give combat experience reward tickets?
We kind of have a rule as a development team not to dip with Castle Wars in any way.
Yeah, it's a touchy one.
Because the Castle Wars community is so close-knit, and Castle Wars isn't broken, don't fix it. So unless there is a huge demand from a lot of people for some kind of...
Theoretically, though, we could have different Castle Wars game modes. And then we could have one for them to play on, which is, what it is now, and potentially add a few others. So, this one's a special one, and you can use tickets from this one to buy other stuff.
It's
and that
essentially
sort of thing.
pest control at that point, but you're capturing flags instead of killing portals,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, this...
So I think the main difference is you're player against player rather than player against monster.
That's true.
Which I think is probably the big difference there. But we can, it's just kind of like
It's a bit of
the
a feature creep.
clan wars mentality sort of thing, where we can have lots of different game modes, potentially do the same in Castle Wars.
It
Or
also
maybe
then-
even put the Castle Wars map into Clan Wars, and that might get what they already want from there anyway.
Right.
But just touching on that as well, it wouldn't be a great amount of combat XP because there's no real variation in the amount of tickets you can get from a game.
Right.
It's like 1, 2, 3, or 0. And if you really want combat XP that much, you can just go and get it. I wouldn't attach much of a reward to it because you can manipulate getting 3 every time using alternate accounts,
Right.
etc.
I think when we were discussing this at a previous point, we said as far off, well, as close to a cosmetic, but not quite, would be something like the mystery boxes, the herb boxes, whatever they are in Nightmare Zone, something to that effect.
Yeah, we can some kind of mystery box that has a chance to give you a combat land.
Yeah.
I can't imagine people who've got stacks of Castle Wars tickets that they're going to use for anything other than going for the gold armor.
Yeah, all right. Next question is actually an odd one. I don't know. Miss Takar, says, can something be done about sabotaging in Castle Wars? So there are people going in the opposing team and just planting all the barricades. And then there are other people who come in and splash against a barricade because barricades give magic XP and you can splash against them.
Ash and Kieran had a discussion about this next to my desk not too long ago.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the outcome of that discussion, but they definitely had a discussion. And when Ash and Kieran put their heads together, something awesome generally happens.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say watch this space.
I think being aware of it is the first step,
Yeah.
and then we'll see what we can do from there. Next question then, when will we hear about RuneFest 2016? And yeah.
Don't know yet. There's discussions happening about it. And as things are decided, I guess we will talk to you about it. I can't remember when we told them last year. Do you remember when we told them last year?
It was quite late. I think it was like June.
Yeah, I think it was May, June-ish, so hopefully before that, but things have got to be decided where it's going to be, how it's going to be, and that's not a case of somebody sitting down sticking a pin in a map. It's all about negotiations and finding somewhere with the right space and the right sort of mentality to get it done. So
Right.
as soon as we know, we will be talking to you, I'm sure.
Okay. What we blasting the first up? Do you want to give us all like a little touch up on the volume there? I feel like we're all super quiet today.
Yeah,
I know
it's
it's like
'cause-
waiting till the end of the stream to say this.
It's because one person starts talking quietly and everyone suddenly gets quieter
Yeah.
and quieter.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
everyone
Like
gets.
a
So
librarian.
we've got to speak up more. Project,
all right.
gentlemen.
All that remains says, can we have the ability to collect multiple rune pouches while only one can be in an inventory at a time?
I don't see too much of a issue having that. I think people want it to obviously say if they die they can just carry on rune crafting without being interrupted, and I think that's fine.
Yep.
Whether it's possible, I'm sure it is possible. How much work? Who knows? Jed will have a better idea than I will.
We just did the prayer books, the god capes, the achievement diary armors.
Yeah, pouches are a bit different because they have variables attached to the objects,
Right.
which means they don't stack in the bank.
That's right,
Anyway,
yeah.
and I'm assuming that's the
They don't
primary
stack in
reason
the
for
bank.
them.
It's going to take a lot of
yeah.
bank
wanting them.
space.
Yeah.
Right.
I expect that's why they actually want multiple copies.
I suppose if you're planning to do several weeks worth of rune crafting, why? Who knows? But if you wanted to, then you could go and fill up 10 spaces of your bank or 20 spaces of your bank with these, and then do it and drop them all and carry on doing something else. So you can get them back with minimal difficulty. But it's that interruption of what you're trying to do, which I think is what's frustrating.
Yeah, well, they drop on death now. We changed that last year, so you can just go pick them back up. You don't have to go and farm them again. They're not too difficult to get back.
Chat seems to be thinking he's thinking of rune pouch instead of essence pouches. What?
In terms of the bounty hunter, where you
Yeah,
put your
yeah.
runes in.
I was talking about rune pouches for.
Are they named the
essence.
same thing?
No, it's,
Surely they're not.
It's the rune pouch and then just large pouches.
Large pouch, that's right.
What do you think we're talking about? I was talking about essence pouches.
So
Wait, why would you want multiple rune pouches from the bounty hunter shop, other than placeholder?
That, yeah.
I could see reasons for both of them, to be honest. They both make sense.
You can just go and buy one though.
You can't have more than one, right?
No,
Yeah, you only need
that's
one if
that's
you
just
do.
a safety thing because of the code attached to them.
Sure, if you die PKing, though, it's a quick run to Edgeville, actually.
Unless you might even be respawning there. If you're going to be using rune pouches, I'd expect.
Doesn't make a ton of sense if it's the rune pouch.
Let's just move on.
Let's just move on. Acid says, can we have the option to recolor the regular red max cape to match the new white graceful outfit?
No.
Wait. If you use a Saradomin cape on your max cape, it does it already. So you're all good.
Yeah.
It looks pretty close. Like you get a little bit of blue in there.
We have taken Fashionscape to a whole new level over the last few
I
months.
get the feeling if someone come back to this game, if we allowed all these recolours to happen that people request, they'd go, what the hell is going on? Half this
Indeed,
stuff I
yeah.
remember has just been recoloured.
Yeah, one of the big things of why, one of the big reasons you guys told us you play Old School was because of the familiarity, and recolours can take away from that a little bit. Like you want to look at someone and know what they're wearing, and it's all like 600 different shades of a green.
Yeah.
While it looks the same, it's not going to feel the same. And we
Indeed.
don't want to take that away too much.
All right, back in the chat then. Can we never do a recolor again? Thank you for that. Ryan. That's good. All right. We have a real question in there. Let's see. A rework of Vedion.
Yes.
I would love to
How would you say that?
because, well, it's very difficult to build a boss without giving it its own environment. It limits the mechanics you can use, and some of the mechanics attached to Vision are really cool. But because of where it is in the wilderness and not in a whole new environment, they don't just work. They just don't work.
I feel like when I say rework of Vedion, you think combat mechanics, you think design.
Yeah, I do
Right?
think design actually. Sorry, was that not about design?
No. I
Okay.
agree. It's an odd-looking boss.
Yeah, it's
we
really-
can cover it from both angles.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's really underwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a model that was sat in our archive and had been since about 2005.
Okay.
That we took
Oh, it's
for
an archive
resurrections.
model.
Yeah.
It might be sacred then. I might not be able to touch
don't
that
think
at
it's
all.
sacred.
Oh, you can
at
touch
all.
that.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you can do 100 times better.
Yeah, I'd have some good ideas for Vetion.
All right, awesome. Next question then. Padme says, what was the deciding factor to develop an entirely new quest instead of integrating and revamping an original? So I think he's asking why we didn't go and make something else that's already been done in RS3.
If we were to try and recreate something, it would be near impossible for us to get it exactly as it was. And that's the main reason.
What RS3 quest, out of curiosity, would you have picked?
For me, it'd be Wild
across
Gothic
the two?
Sleeps. It was such a fantastic quest. It brought together a whole load of ancient storylines and opened up a whole load more. And the platform that went on from that was fantastic. It was, Paul Gow was one fantastic story writer, and as I was first drawing up my initial concept for MM2, I actually redid all of his original quests for inspiration.
Yeah.
And it also brought a whole new meaning to quests. Like it was the first Grand Master, it was epic, it redefined what a quest was. And is there aspects of that I've tried to recreate in MM2? But if we were to just try and copy and paste it, what's the point?
Right.
We wouldn't get it spot on, so you'd either be left disappointed or we just wouldn't have achieved what we were trying to achieve.
Yeah, it's nothing. When you think about it, a quest is a new thing to enhance a story, or give a new thing that people want. If you know what the story is already, which you would with an existing quest, that's that part of the reason to do a quest right out the window.
Right.
And that's 50% gone effectively. So a brand new quest, something that would never been done before, is a lot more exciting for us, and I think a lot more exciting for you, judging by the reaction Monkey Madness 2 is getting. So I think that's the right call to make.
I think the beauty of this quest is that so much of it is undiscovered and you guys won't know until the day of release, literally. Unfortunately, I think what we showed you today in last week's Q&A is about all you're going to be able to see of Monkey Madness 2 until it's released.
Yeah.
Rewards?
We'll show you the reward items because you know what they are.
Oh, yeah, you've got the Zenite jewelry coming
They'll
as well.
look cool, and we can show you the mechanics and how
Yeah.
they'll work and stuff. But yeah, the story and some of the other rewards that we haven't revealed yet won't be revealed.
Yep.
We
Big
wanna
boss
keep it
fight.
all nice and secret.
Plenty of stuff you guys won't have a clue about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Speaking of MM2, someone asked for an ETA. I am happy to share our planned release date under the condition that it's subject to change, and that is May 5th.
That's
so
exciting.
6 weeks from today. Good luck, Jed.
Yeah.
We've still got a lot to do.
No pressure.
Easy.
We've made a lot of progress this week, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just shaping up really nicely, and I'm super hyped. It's going to be amazing.
There you
It's,
go. So in this stream, you got about as accurate as you're going to get Monkey Madness 2 requirements. That was right before you popped in. You also got to see a new monster. You also got to see, last week, you got to see the ballistas. That's in last week's Q&A if you missed those. And then you also got to find out
That there is a boss fight.
losing it. No, something else. Whatever. Watch back the Q&A,
What
I'll
John
figure
just
it
Oh
out.
yeah, the quest requirement. Or do we already
Release
say
date.
that?
We already said that.
Oh, the
Okay.
reason.
Yeah.
Pass.
Also, John, do
completely
you
losing
want
my
to
mind.
give them more specific skill requirements? Because I said which skills they would have to train, but I didn't give numbers.
Yeah, when we're closer to launch, we've actually got those
Okay.
nailed down because that might change, as it goes through development and then QA and hardening phases. But yeah, we'll happily reveal those closer to the release date. I know Ronan's planning a stream to go through some of the quests that are required for it with you. I don't know if you're still planning to do that.
I didn't know whatever it was, but I'm more than happy to.
I'm sure you mentioned it at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah.
Just not forgetful.
There will be more info forthcoming, but not spoilers. We're keeping it under wraps because we want you to be surprised. I did see someone in the chat asking if MM2 is going to be Zerka friendly. The answer is no. The question is not going to be friendly. Was Monkey Madness friendly?
Zerka friendly.
Yeah. I mean, Zerka's be able to do
Yeah.
it, sure, but the word friendly is not going to be attached to
Yeah,
this
it's not
question
friendly
in the
for
slightest.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're a Zerka, you're trying to do it, the actual text from the NPCs is quite horrifically bad. It'll just be targeted at you.
No, this.
Get away from us.
But it is Zerka friendly.
As long as you can finish Monkey Madness 2 on your account build, I believe you can. I mean, Monkey Madness 1, and you can start Monkey Madness 2.
Recipe for Disaster, King Warburgy subsection as well,
Yeah.
which has a lot of subquests attached to it. But
Right. It was quest requirement. You're right. Yeah, getting there. All right. We've got time for a couple last questions then. Let's do some suggestions. We've got a couple good suggestions this week. Well, interesting. We'll say interesting. Gothic Logic says, the fireplace transportation method. This is a suggestion.
You see,
Sounds
I
right.
read that and I said, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. I like the concept behind that. And then as you were writing
You
to around
didn't
to
know
me,
it was Harry Potter.
I've never seen Harry Potter.
I'm not even from here and I knew
never-
it was Harry Potter.
And they said it's Harry Potter, and it's like, oh, let's not do that then.
Yeah. Really? Oh, I like the idea. I
It's a
think
nice
cool.
idea, yeah, but Harry Potter used it, so let's leave
So
that
there's,
out.
the idea is there's fireplaces scattered all around Old School. This idea involved fire lighters in specific, so colored fires, and you could use those as methods of transportation, hopping around from fireplace to fireplace.
What would be the law behind that, though?
magic.
Whatever Harry
He
Potter's law
actually
is.
Yeah,
wanted
that's the
to.
thing, isn't it? You're
You have
kind
to
of
put
like
on
merging
glasses,
two
little round glasses
universes.
to do it. And
He wanted to
draw tattoos
incorporate
in
something
his head.
from Zaya.
I think
it sounds wrong to me.
We could come up with some storyline. We've got enough wizards and dark wizards and
Yeah.
sages lying around the world not doing much. One of them's written a book on how to transport via stepping into fire.
I mean,
How it's convinced you to just walk into an open fire.
I would like to be, more dark about it rather than
fairy
having
rings.
fire.
Wouldn't
I
it
would,
make
I would
sense?
think about mirrors, maybe, because mirrors kind of have this rather dark connotation in them. So you could teleport via mirrors or transport via mirrors, but you have a chance of getting stuck in it or losing things in it or something. So something that
I prefer that,
that
actually.
mirror, kind of like when you're 7 years old and you turn the light off in the bathroom, you stand in front of the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. Trying to get that feeling from it, so it's a lot darker, sort of
Doesn't make me wanna walk
RuneScape-y type
into
of
it.
thing.
I think
That's nice.
with mirrors, there's that whole thing where it seems like a parallel anyway, because you look into it and see like the world replicated. What I'd be inclined to do is do something more like Clive Barker's Hellraiser, where just a random wall can be pushed open and moved aside, and you don't know where these sort of gateways are. You'd have to find them.
Yeah, it doesn't always go to the same place. You
Yeah.
just end up sort of,
Or perhaps you could open it and a strange creature lurks behind it that could kill you randomly
or
on
it's just got
occasion.
this spinning pillar.
right.
Can we do the spinning pillar? Have you seen what's on that spinning pillar up close? It's a bit
No,
Clive
I think we can get
Barker.
away with that. I'm quite happy with that.
All right, next Jolly Matt. We're taking everybody to go watch Harry Potter, and we're doing the damn
We're not going. I
fireplaces.
can't stand.
Next Jolly, it take like 20 hours to watch all of the movies.
We could do that for sure.
I mean, I love Harry Potter.
All right, next question then.
I have a story about Harry Potter.
Wait, we can just go to Harry Potter World. We'll just go to Harry Potter World in London.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to Harry Potter.
We'll sell the
World.
fireplace idea. I'm good.
Right, every time Jolly comes around, right, I want to go paintballing, and half the team wants to go paintballing, but Matt just says no. And everyone I've interviewed recently, I always ask them what the ideal day out is with the team. And every single one of them has said paintballing.
It says half of them want to go paintballing. There's 2, and there's the rest. There's about 3 people who humour John and say yeah, whatever, knowing that we're not going to do it.
We want to go paintballing.
And everybody else just keeps quiet.
You just know everyone's going to shoot you, Matt.
It's fine. I won't go paintballing. That's fine. I've got our next jolly. For those who don't know, we have a jolly system where once a quarter the team gets some money to go out and bond. So this jolly for this quarter, we went and all went out for dinner, and because it was Alfie's last jolly as well, it was just before he left, and we went out and had a nice meal and a few fall-over juices. And the next one I've already got planned anyway. There is a medieval village down in Hertfordshire.
Whoa.
And I want to go down to a medieval
That'd
village
be so
for a day.
cool.
So you can walk around castle and dress up as medieval people, which I think would be, bearing in mind what we do for a living,
Oh yeah, no, honestly,
I think
as a
it'd be quite
fact-finding
cool.
thing, that would be fine, but I'd still rather shoot you.
So,
When I walk
You're
around
friendly.
castles, you just feel like the ghosts of the past are ingrained in the walls. It's the damp, I think, or a mental.
I think it's an
one
old
of the
person
two.
thing.
there's lots of mirrors as well, and we
Yeah,
can figure out how to do a
must be, right?
transportation thing through them.
Secret doors with monsters behind them.
All right.
Spinning columns.
Sorry, I don't want to.
That's all right.
How about we get a medieval castle and have a big paintballing war in it?
Yes.
Compromise.
Okay, I'll ask them.
That's all right. Look, Matt, I won't shoot you. I'm shooting Ronan anyways. All right. Next question. We've got 2 more suggestions to get through. We've run out of time. I
I
don't
do your
care.
PDR, that's why.
We're getting there. Yeah, maybe. Our legacy says imbued rune pouch, equipable in the ammo slot. This is the actual rune pouch now.
Oh yeah, it's
with-
the one I
with
make it
runes
in the
it.
ammo
Yeah.
slot.
Saves an extra space for food, will change PK significantly, I would imagine,
Yeah,
with
because
extra
it
space.
already
wouldn't it?
saves 2 spaces carrying vengeance / barrage runes.
Very true.
I would expect that to actually pass a poll though. I think.
How would you imbue it? Is the question.
That's
what would you go through?
You could, if it's primarily used for PvP, do you imbue it via PvP?
It's also used for PVM, like as a whole. It's
The
for
word
everything.
imbue makes me think of Nightmare Zone though, and that seems like OP for Nightmare Zone.
Well, it's right, imbue, upgrade,
Slayer
enhance.
Yeah.
Or we could just make it wieldable.
What's the lore behind the pouch?
Bounty Hunter.
It
It's
came with
traded
Bounty Hunter. There is
from
no
the
lore.
dude.
So it came from. I mean, Bounty Hunter seems to make sense
Yeah.
to have it.
He
Upgraded
does
from
sell
there.
imbue scrolls. You can imbue the magic short bow,
It's true.
Ring of
Yeah.
Wealth.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw that in there for a really expensive price.
Well, the
Um,
pouch itself is already quite expensive.
If we made it, like really expensive, then it's something we consider.
We'd have to change a lot with the way spells look for runes to look such worn.
I mean, it's already searching for the rune pouch, right? So hopefully we can.
Oh, that's true.
Jump on that.
So, sorry, we've
That's
got
all right.
into a technical discussion.
All right, cool idea. Last suggestion here before we finish up. Ale says add kite shield designs for each of the houses in Zaya. So each logo for each house in Zaya you could throw on the side of your
Treasure
kite shield.
trail update, isn't it? Really?
Okay, cool.
I don't know. No,
Yeah.
I like the idea with the
Like a
construction because you can already get heraldic
Yeah,
helms
that's
and
true, yeah,
shields, and it just builds into something that's already in the game.
I suppose
It's
you
quite
got
nice.
100% favour, then you get the choice to talk to whatever his name is with its whatever it is. It's a Tiffy Amic vase thing person.
It ties in nicely
Who
towards
does
the sculpting related to the statue as well with Architectural Alliance.
Is this not a recolour via the back door though?
I think
It's a
we can get
recolour
away
that
with
makes
this one.
sense.
It's
Okay,
not just
that's
a recolour;
fine,
it's got a
right.
little picture on it.
It's not just like do this because it looks cool.
So
It's like do this because it looks cool and it actually makes sense.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Okay, guys, that's going to conclude the stream then. 4 minutes over.
Wow.
Happy.
And you were worried we won't have enough questions this week.
Yeah. The stories came in clutch, Matt. We're good. Okay, guys. So, in case you're unaware, if you missed earlier today or earlier in the stream, sorry, on Saturday we're hosting the Dead Man Seasonal Invitational. Sorry, the season will be following that immediately after, almost immediately after, giving 10 grand to one person who will end up winning. It's be extremely exciting. You won't want to miss it. 6 p.m. GMT over at runescape.com/. Wow, twitch.com/runescape.
Twitch.tv.
Wish we had that domain. Aside from that, that's going to about conclude the stream. So thank you for watching. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right.
See ya.